it's an user datagram protocol, which is a connectionless, unreliable transport protocol. So in transport protocol, we have two different connections are there. One is connectionless, another one is connection oriented. So here user datagram protocol is a connectionless, unreliable transport protocol. So it is powerless. It performs process to process communication with very limited error checking. So here there is no connection between the sender and the receiver is there. So the sender's duty is simply, if it is having any data, simply transmit the data to the receiver. So here there is no checking of the errors. That's why if it is a process to process communication, the error checking is very limited, because the sender is not bothering about the errors, or not bothering about the receiver. If a process wants to send a small message and does not care much about the reliability, it can use UDP. So where we can use this UDP? Where means it is a connectionless. So if it is a small message and the sender does not care about the reliability, means does not care about whether it is received by the receiver, whether any errors are occurred. So simply it wants to send, so first it starts transmitting the packet only. In that cases, means for sending the small messages without considering the reliability cases, then we will use this user datagram protocol. So these are all well-known ports used by UDP. So yesterday we discussed different ports. Means port is nothing but it is used to uniquely identify the process in a particular system. So here the well-known ports which are used by user datagram protocol. So what are the well-known protocol mean? First one, 7. 7 is one of the port number. So echo, for echo, we will use this port number 7. So what is this echo? Echoes received datagram back to the sender. Echoes received datagram back to the sender. Echoes means transmitted. So to transmit the packets to the sender, mean indirectly it is nothing but the acknowledgement. So for acknowledgement purpose, the protocol used is echo. So in programming, mean for implementation purpose, we will write the port number. Simply we will write the port number. So when the computer system saw this port number, it immediately identifies that this is related to this protocol. So like that, 9. 9 is used for discard. Sometimes it requires to discard the messages. So discard the datagrams. So for discarding that datagram purpose, so where we discard this one, if we are using sequence numbers, whenever the sender is retransmitting any data, means duplication of data is received by the receiver. So in that cases, if the receiver wants to discard that packet, so to discard that packet, he is using the port number called 9. Next, 11. 11 means for active users. So for active users, we will use the port number that is 11. And 13 is used for to return the date and time. Daytime return చేయడానికి we will use this port number 13. 17 is used to return a quote of the day, and 19 is used for return a string of characters. So charger means to return a string of characters, we will use 19. And for domain name services, means for the name server purpose, we will use 53. So like that, 67, 68, 69, 111, 123, 161, and 162. So all these are the protocol, the well-known port numbers which are used by the user datagram protocol. Each and every port number is having its own specific functionality is there. So it will exhibit those functionalities. So for that, during the implementation process, we will use these port numbers instead of the protocol names. Clear? So these are all some of the well-known ports which are used by the user datagram protocol. This is the user datagram format. So each and every, means in TCP, it is having some format is there, datagram format. So what is the format? Here is each and every layer the data is in the form of like this. So the data which is taken from the upper layer, and along to that data we will add the header value. So here the header is of fixed size header. So what is the fixed size? Fixed means it's a constant one. So what is the constant size we are used for UDP header mean? It is of 8 bytes of data. So in that 8 bytes means how many bits? 8 into 8, totally 64 bits. So totally 64 bits. So those 64 bits are again classified into 4 divisions. So what are the 4 divisions? Each 16 bits, and 16 bits are assigned for a specific purpose. So what is that? The first 16 bits is used for source port number, and 16 bits is used for destination port number, and 16 bits is used for total length, and 16 bits is used for checksum, means to find the address. So here we have four partitions are there in the particular header. So header consisting of 8 bytes of memory. So that 8 bytes is again classified into four different classes of 16 bits each. So first 16 bits is used for source port number. Source means the sender's port number. And another 16 bits is used to represent the destination's port number. So like that we will assign 16 bits for a specific purpose. So this is the user datagram format. Now see what is source port number. So here we have four different things are there: source port number, destination port number, total length, and checksum. So we'll see one by one. What is this source port number? So source port number is the port number used by the process running on the mission. So running on the mission which is ready to send the data. So port number means it is the number, it is the unique number which is used by the process, and that process is running on the sender system. So it is 16-bit long, means port number can range from 0 to 65,535. That is the range of the port number. And what is the size? 16-bit length. If the source host is client, an ephemeral port number is chosen by the UDP for that particular process requested. So if the source is client, means if you consider the client server architecture, there first the client will send the request to the server. So that's why the client is acting like a source. So if the source host is client, then the ephemeral port number is chosen by the UDP. If the source host is server, the port number is a well-known port number. So this is two different type of port numbers. So if it is source host is client, then in that cases we will use ephemeral port numbers. If it is source host is server, then we will use the well-known port number. So this is about source port number. Next, destination port number. So what is destination port number? It is also a port number, a unique number which is used by the process, and that process is running in the destination mission. So in that destination mission the process is running. So for that process means whatever the running process is there, so that running process is identified by a unique number that is called port number. So it is also 16-bit long. So as source port number, this destination port number is also 16-bit long. So if the destination host is a server, that means client sending a request. So the port number is well-known port number most cases. So if it is a client server architecture, so client server architecture is there. So first client will send a request to the sender. So when it sends the request to sender, then according to that request, the server will respond to the client. Respond to the client. So in these cases, if the destination host is a server, here client is the source and S is the server is the destination. So if it is the destination host is a server, then the port number is called well-known port number. If the destination, so whenever client sends request to the server, in that cases client is source and server is the destination. So in the second case, response, when server sends the response to client. In this case, server is the source and client is the destination. So here we will use the ephemeral port number in most cases. So that is the difference between uh, whenever the destination host is server or whenever the destination host is client. So we will use the port numbers like this. Next, length. Length means this is a 16-bit field that defines the total length of the user datagram. So that means whatever the data is there. So the sender sends the data, right? So whatever the data is there, the data is of 16-bit field which defines the total length of the user datagram. User datagram. So user datagram means it is nothing but the header value and the data value. So data along with header, that complete thing will calculated by using the length. So the total memory allocated for that datagram is 16-bit. And finally, the third one is checksum. So checksum means it is used for calculating or detecting the errors. So this field is used to detect errors over the entire user datagram. So complete datagram is there. So data along with header. So data along with header is transmitted from sender to the receiver. So the checksum is used to find any errors are occurred during the transmission. So to find or to detect the errors, the checksum method is used. So checksum includes three sections. So what are the three sections mean? One is pseudo header, UDP header, data coming from application layer. So data coming from application layer. So that will be represented in this diagram. So here we have pseudo header is there, header is there, that is called as UDP header, and along with that data coming from the application layer, that is called as data. So this is the representation, diagrammatic representation for UDP checksum. So here pseudo header contains again different fields. What are the different fields? 32-bit source IP address, 32-bit destination IP address, and all zeros, 8-bit protocol, and 16-bit UDP total length. So these are all the different fields which are existed in the pseudo header. Now normal header is there, that is called as UDP header. So UDP header we already discussed. It consisting of 4 different fields, each of 16 bits each. What are the 4 different fields? Source port address, destination port address, UDP total length, and checksum. So along with pseudo header and header, we have the data is there. So now the checksum, UDP checksum is applied on these three things. One is pseudo header, another one is header, another one is data. So anywhere the error may occur. So if the error is occurred, then the complete thing is changed. So to avoid that, we will detect the errors by using the checksum method. So now we'll see what is pseudo header. It is a part of IP packet header in which user datagram is encapsulated. So encapsulated means wrapping up of data. So IP packet header. Why it is IP packet header? Because the transport layer take the services from the network layer. So in network layer we have the IP packet is there. So IP packet means data along with source address and destination IP address. Now that data is taken by transport layer. So like this. So in network layer the IP header IP address is there. So that IP header is taken by the transport layer. So to that IP header now the header, the UDP header is added. So that's why the diagram is like this. So this is a original thing. So the pseudo header is nothing but it is allocated in the network layer. So this is UDP header. So encapsulating of the data in the transport layer. So the reason for including pseudo header in checksum is to save IP header from corrupt. So whatever the IP header is there, whatever the IP header is there, so IP header consisting of the source IP address and the destination IP address. So if anywhere error is occurred, so if for example in source IP address the error is occurred, then what will happen? The destination node will means confused because the source address is corrupted. So like that destination address, if destination address is corrupted, then the data is not transmitted to the destination. So that's why to save the IP header, we will include that pseudo header in the checksum. So the checksum method is applied on the pseudo header, UDP header and the data, original data. Now protocol. The protocol field is added to ensure that packet belongs to UDP and not to other transport layer protocol. So here the protocol field is 17. So in the diagram we have 8-bit protocol is there. So that is 17. That protocol field is 7. If this value changes during transmission, the checksum calculation at the receiver will detect it and UDP drops the packet. So 17, while sending the UDP header, we will mention in the pseudo header the protocol version is 74. So if this 17 value is changed during the transmission, that means the error is occurred. So the checksum calculation at the receiver will detect it. So if any error is occurred, then simply the checksum will detect that error. So whenever it detects that error, then simply the UDP drops that packet. So drops that packet means it will terminate the transmission process. So it is not delivered to the wrong protocol, because whenever the value is changed, then automatically it will deliver it to the wrong address. So to avoid that, simply the UDP whenever detect the error, it simply drops the packet. It simply stops transmission and drop the packet. So here is some example for how to calculate checksum. So simple user diagram. So here is a simple example. First one is source IP address, destination IP address, and all zero values. 17 is protocol field, and 15 is nothing but our checksum value. So like that, here 1087 means this is the source port number, 13 is destination port number, and 15 is the length of the data, and all zeros means it is the checksum value. So like this, this is one of the example for user data graph. So how we will calculate this? How we will calculate the checksum value mean? Here is the application. So for 153.18, we will write a binary number and 8.105. So for that, and we will divide it into two columns. So two columns we will write the value, the binary value for each and every case. Checksum means we will add all these things. So checksum concept we already discussed. How we will use the checksum. So same concept is used here. So we will write all the values and we will apply the checksum value. So here is the sum value. So the sum of all these numbers we will get like this. So to that sum value, we will take the ones complement value. So that ones complement is nothing but our checksum value. Clear? So whenever we add this checksum value to the sum, then we will get all zeros. Otherwise, all ones. Right? So by using that concept, we will find whether any error is occurred or not. So here simply write down the binary numbers for each and every address value, each and every field. After that, we will sum up. So we will add all the values. Column wise, we will add all the numbers. So after finding the sum value, we will simply apply the ones complement. So why we apply the ones complement to get the checksum? So after applying the ones complement, what we get, that is called as checksum. So like this, we will calculate the checksum of a simple UDP user data graph. Clear? So this is about user datagram protocol. So next we will see what are the uses. What are the uses of UDP? So it is suitable for a process that requires simple request response communication with little concern for flow and error control. So where this UDP is suitable? So where it is suitable mean for simple client server architectures. So client server architectures means simply sending the request and getting the response. So in that cases, this UDP datagram is very suitable one. And for multicasting purposes, so we have two different things are that unicasting and multicasting. So multicasting means sending data to n number of devices. So in that cases also, this UDP is very suitable. Clear? Multiple multicasting means one system will send a message to the n number of devices. So in that cases, there is no requirement of the response from the receivers. So not bothering about the response. So that's why in that cases, this UDP is very suitable. UDP is used for management process such as SNMP, and it is also used for route updating protocols. So route updating protocols also, this UDP datagram protocol, user datagram protocol is very suitable. So these are all the applications of UDP. Clear? So this is about UDP, and in the next we will see what is TCP, transmission control protocol.